Students, today we will continue for third sem diploma electrical students, and the subject is electrical engineering material. And we have discussed in our previous classes about insulating material, so we'll continue. Today, students, we will discuss about the classification, properties, and application of insulating material. So, students, uh, before going to this theory, let us first understand what is the importance and how and what are the criteria upon which will decide you or us, the electrical engineers, to choose a particular kind of insulating material. Now, there are several factors which will make you to decide a particular type of insulating materials. Now, in the introduction part to this, the author or the theory of this book has written. So, let us now try to recall that what we are aiming at in our previous section. So, our aim has been to be able to select the right insulator or the insulators for a given application. So there is suppose there is a job or some specified application you are having, and you have to choose the insulating material. Then there will be some certain sets of consideration which will fulfill your job, your your nature of your insulating material. Then only you can select a particular type of insulation. So here we faced with the question of making choice of an insulator as indeed of any other material. We must answer the question. So there must be some sets of question before choosing anything as our insulating material. We have to put ourselves into some questions. So what are these questions? What are we seeking in the insulator in order to meet the manufacturing and operation requirement of an application? So what are the certain sets of condition which we are in requirement or seeking, so that it will need or meet the manufacturing and operating requirements of the application? So this should be our first questions. What is the requirement, how it will be manufactured, and what are the operating requirements? So this is the first question which should be inside your mind before selecting a particular type of insulator. Secondly, students, why are we seeking that? What we have answered in one above. So why then? Suppose after question 1 you have gotten solution, you will use, suppose say, PVC. PVC is the type of insulation which you have decided. Then you should put the second question to yourself: why PVC only? Why should I consider PVC? This should be your second question to yourself. Now the third question is how and where to seek the required insulator. So it is very important, student. So if this insulator which we have discussed, for instance, the example which I have taken here is PVC, and the question which shall arise from your mind is how and where to seek the required insulator. How means how should we get PVC and from where? So if India, considering our country, is having a sufficient availability of this kind of insulator, then the material could be procured quite easily, and also its cost will be effective. So this should be inside your mind, that how and from where you should procure them, so that things will be with you. Otherwise you have decided a particular kind of insulator and you have not considered the other two questions, then what will happen? Suddenly you have to stop your job or your operation, because you do not have sufficient amount of those material which you have selected, so you have to stop. So for that reason only we have to think these three basic things, after which a particular kind of material will be selected. Now students, there are thousands of insulating material available in the market. uh, so there are obviously different and varieties of insulating material which are available in the market. So you have to choose you have to choose from them only you have to choose. So insulation technology is one of those few branches where the number of material is very large. So, students, we have already discussed about conducting, semiconducting, now insulating. So, in case of conducting material, also, we do not have that wide scope of varieties as it is in case of your insulators. Because in case of semiconductor, also, we have some limited range of resources. So, while it comes to insulating material, we have a number of choices, so we can choose wisely what we require and how. So putting those three questions, we can decide which type of material will be selected. Any special requirement can be served by some special material. The very advantage offered by the existence of a large variety of insulating material available to choose from may turn into a disadvantage if the concerned person is not equipped properly with the required skill. Suppose, students, let us take an example. I am the person who who is supposed to be select a particular type of insulating material, but I do not have the adequate knowledge of the insulating material, and someone asked me that you have to select a particular kind of insulator from the 1,000 available insulating material, right? Because already we know that there are thousands of insulating materials known. So haphazardly I chose one of them. What will happen? It will work as an insulator, no doubt, but it will not work satisfactorily to the performed area where it has been designed. So let us make it a little bit more simpler. Students, you might have seen these insulating cables or the wires which are used in your electric iron. So those iron, the kind of insulation provided in these wires are not ordinary. They have a high amount of heat resistance property, so that when we are using it as a electric press or an iron, what it happens, it hits the heating element also, along with the conducting wire also gets heated. As a result, the insulation is supposed, or it is very much liable that the insulation will be damaged or it will burn out. So to avoid such kind of problems, we generally use insulation which can withstand this amount of temperature. So here, suppose on that case only, suppose someone asked me, I have to choose a particular type of insulator for your electric iron wires. So I have choose randomly any one insulating material, and I have asked them that you may use this kind of insulating material. They go for manufacturing. After that, what happened? They will install such kind of insulating materials, and after some few days there will be a lots of trouble. This wire will be required a lots of maintenance. Then they will think what was the root cause of this kind of problem. Then they will find out that the insulation or the kind of insulation which was selected was not proper, because the insulator which was chosen was not having the right value of temperature. As a result, it is it is now asking for a number of maintenance work. So so this is the thing which will happen if we do not have the proper selection of insulator while performing any uh, while applying insulators, or by or using insulators to any kind of your electrical wires. So students, there are also many things which decides. So there are obviously a great possibility of selecting the right material out of 10 than out of 1,000. So if the choices are thousands, then there is a very much high possibility that you may choose the wrong one. But if the possibilities are limited, suppose there are 10 possibilities, you may find out the right one. It may be assumed that you just luckily got the correct one. Suppose, for instance, Suppose in your objective type test you have four options, you have to put only one, and which is the right one. Suppose this objective, the options will be increased to 100 options, then the probability that you will strike the correct answer will be less if the number of options is more. Suppose there are 100 options, you have to take the correct one, only one, then the probability is decreased. So if the number of options is decreased, what will happen? So if it will be decreased, then the probability that you hit the correct option will be increased. So it is similarly here also, if a person is not having the adequate knowledge of the insulators and he is been asked to select a particular insulator from varieties or thousands of varieties of insulators, then he may be selecting a wrong one. But if the number of insulators provided is less or few, or say it is 10 numbers of insulators, out of them you have to choose one, then the probability he may select the right one is very high. So this is the thing, students. The technique to dig the right material out of an ocean of material is to equip ourselves with right tool, like knowing what properties are required for a specific requirement. And the second one is recognizing material as belongings to various classes. Then only an individual material, the first aspect of has already been studied, the second aspect has been dealt with in so far as insulation material in table 4.3. So this table 4.3 have been classified on the basis of temperature. However, for the purpose of study and ease of recognizing materials, insulating materials will now be classified on the basis of physical and chemical structures. So they will also depend upon their physical and chemical structure, students. Now further, the things which are also essential are, so the example through cotton and paper are two different insulating materials. So if we will take a example, if we are having a cotton as an insulation and a paper as an insulation, both are insulating materials, yet they are being classified as belonging to the family called fibrous materials. So both this belongs to fibrous materials. Similarly, PVC and polythene belong to the family called resin polymer. So PVC and polythene belong to resin polymer. Now we'll just discuss the history of development of insulating material. So what was the past and how these insulating materials were invented. One of the earliest materials used in insulation technology was air. So earlier, students, the insulating material or the medium used was air. Because of its free availability everywhere, air as insulating material has surpassed in many applications. So because its availability is plenty, we cannot control it, also it is present everywhere, so it was used throughout, and also it is totally free of cost. So because of its free availability and air is insulating material has surpassed in many applications. The obvious example of this is the million of kilometers of overhead distribution and transmission line used all over the world with operating voltage as high as 1000 kV. So students, you might have seen the overhead lines which is present everywhere. So it might be outside, might be not, might be it is present outside your door or your house openings. You can see, just move your head up and you can find electrical overhead lines throughout your streets everywhere. So are they insulated? They are not insulated. They have been only separated by some distance, and this separation is through air, because air is the only medium which is separating these two materials. So air is acting as a insulating material over there. So it is found everywhere, and the voltage which it can withstand is to any number. Till now the voltage which we are using is 1000 kV, which air can easily handle, or it can take the values of 1000 kV or above also without facing any problem, but the distance should be such so as to withstand the voltage. Now students, development in the technology of power transmission and utilization necessitate the development of fibrous insulating material. So students, the science or the field of electrical energy day to day is improving. I think you will agree with me, because every part of engineering field, it may be electrical, it can be mechanical, it can be of any other engineering field, they are improving day by day. So it happens to our electrical field also. Here also, due to improvement only, we have developed new insulating materials so that it can be used in your power transmission and your utilization necessitated developments, and they all belongs to your fibrous insulating materials like paper, yarn, cloth, wood, etc. Simultaneously developed were insulating liquids. So these insulating liquids were also developed simultaneously. Thereafter, the inability of fibrous material to remain unaffected by moisture and surrounding materials forced the development of fibrous material like impregnated paper, varnish, cloth, yarn, etc. So these were the development, and by the use of this insulating material, we can control or we can make the insulating materials more effectively. Now, this class of material provided excellent material for use in high voltage technology. Impregnated paper dielectric remains unsurpassed for the last 50 years for application in very high voltage. So by using impregnated paper, this technology was used for the last few, you cannot say few, but for the past 50 years, and it is now till now also continuing. We are using such kind of insulation, and it is working very much effectively. Now students, for example, mica has excellent electrical and thermal properties but lacks flexibility, right? Mica is having high thermal resistivity, but is very much brittle. I mean, it can easily can be broken. So paper possesses flexibility and good electrical and thermal properties, but has poor chemical like high hygroscopic. So these are the advantages and disadvantages with every insulating material. If you will take insulating material which is having very good mechanical property, then some other property might be very weak. So this is the thing which is with every insulating materials. So here we have to, while selecting any insulating material, we have to very much sure that which kind of material will be selected. The development of class of organic material of high molecular weight called resin polymer, known as plastic, went a long way towards melting the heavy demands imposed by modern technology. So the class of material today probably meets more than the half of the total requirement of insulating material. Indeed, the development of resin polymer has been a revolution in electrical insulation technology. So an idea insulating material should possess. So what are the insulating material characteristics, or what should they possess exactly so that they can work effectively are stated. So let us discuss them. So dielectric strength as good as that of mica, right? So their dielectric strength should be very good, so that we can make them use as a insulator. The second thing, volume and surface resistivity equal to that of sulfur. So the volume and the surface resistivity should be equal to that of sulfur. Thirdly, mechanical strength is good as of steel. So its strength should be also as good as steel. Fourth point is crushing resistance as good as of that of granite. Now, ease of machine as good as that of wood. So it should also be machinable. Why it should be machinable, students? Because see, after all, this insulating material has to be coated outside the conductor. So if this has to be coated, then we have to machine them. What do you mean by machine them? We have to bring them into a proper shape and size, so that only they can be used as a outer covering to a conductor. So their machining strength should also be good. Fireproofing quality is as good as that of silica. See, the electrical conductors are prone to these fire hazards. So what are fire hazards? They are very much fire catching elements, because they will undergo electrical. Suppose for example, students, let us take the example of an um, air condition. So this air condition is used, and it takes a lot or huge amount of current. So if it is working for a longer period of time, suppose 7 to 8 hours continuously, without breaking, without having any halt, then what will happen? It has the tendency to get heated up and may also catch fire. So if the wire or the insulating material is made up of that is your fireproof material, then what will happen? It will resist fire and will help you to extinguish it. But otherwise, if we have chosen a material which is having the property, the insulating material is made up of material which is not fireproof, what will happen? After the fire will catch, this will act as a fuel. You understand fuel? Because every fire needs fuel. What are the fuels? The surroundings are its fuel. Suppose the AC is surrounded by your screen, it is surrounded by some of your books also, it is surrounded by some computers, or anything which is surrounded by the AC can act as a fuel. So if the wire itself is acting as a fuel, then it will help to make the fire more aggressive. So we should use this insulating material as a less or fire resistance material, less fire resistance material, so as the ability of catching fire will be minimum. Chemical inertness equal to that of platinum. So its chemical inertness should also be equal to platinum, so that it will be used effectively. Now the last point is waterproofing quality as good as that of paraffin wax. So these are the points, students, which are very much essential for selecting an insulating material. Because if the insulating material is not having waterproofing quality, and by mistakenly some water, or in winter seasons also, you may take in your rainy seasons also, some water is poured in this wire, what will happen? This may get electrocuted and short circuit as a result, which will damage your equipment also. So the wire which we are using should possess this waterproofing qualities. Now students, what else are required? So classification of insulating metal on the basis of physical and chemical properties. So there are some properties, let us find it out. So the on the so classification of insulating metal on the basis of physical and chemical structures. So insulating metal on the basis of physical and chemical structures may be classified in various categories as follows. So the structures are as below. The first point is fibrous material. The second point is impregnated fibrous material. The third point is non-resinous material. Fourth one is insulating liquids. Fifth one is ceramics. Sixth one is mica and mica products. Seventh one is your asbestos and asbestos products. Eighth one is your glass. Ninth one is your natural and synthetic rubber. 10th one is your insulating resin and their products. 11th one is laminates, adhesive, enamels and varnishes. So these are the insulating material which are on the basis of their physical and chemical structure. So let us discuss each one of them. The first one is your fibrous material. The fibrous material are either derived from animal origin or by cellulose, which is the major solid constituent of vegetable plants. The majority of the material are from cellulose. So they are this kind of your fibrous material are mainly achieved from your animals or cellulose from plants. So in certain materials, the cellulose fibers are clearly visible, as in cotton, yarn, thread, etc. In other material like paper, wood, cardboard, the fiber is of the order of 25 millimeter length and 0.015 millimeter thickness. Following are the different fibrous material. So what are the fibrous material which are known? So wood is one of a fibrous material. So wood was in the past frequently and used for low voltage insulation. So students, during the initial stage of using insulators, wood was frequently used, and it has very light in weight, with relative density varying from 0.5 to 1.0 tensile strength, and depending upon the kind of wood, and it's between 700 to 1300 kg per strength varies. So if the wood is of good one, then its strength will high. So depending upon the quality of wood, its strength was varied, right? Now however, across the grain the tensile strength is low. Temperature is obviously a limitation. Now students, wood is very hygroscopic in nature, and after absorbing moisture tends to lose markedly its mechanical properties. So if a wood is absorbed with water, it loses most of its properties. Whenever it is to be used as insulating material, it is impregnated in oil. In early days, cheapness, easy of availability, and fabrication were the reason for its use as structural material for transmission and distribution poles. So students, today when you see this transmission poles, they are made up of, somewhere it is made up of rail poles, somewhere it is made up of concrete poles, but earlier they were using wood as the transmission poles. So why they were using? Because its availability was high, or you can say it was very easily available. Its insulating property was also up to the mark, but we have to control some of the things like moisture and water should be avoided, it should be painted. So by maintaining wood, it was used as an insulating material properly. But afterwards what happened? So in early days, this was due to this reason only wood was considered as a insulating material. Now paper and cardboard. Afterwards, what happened? Paper and cardboard were also used as a insulating material. The base material for manufacturing insulating paper is coniferous wood. So coniferous wood were the base material to manufacture this cardboard type material. So there is a table which will show you the percentage of cellulose, pentosanes, lignin, iron and copper. So this table is not required, students, you may not by heart it. So what are the other things which is required, I will cover. uh, Now, the use of unimpregnated paper is very limited because of certain major limitations, which are hygroscopicity. Second one is your reaction with oxygen, and the third one is your thermal instability. The behavior of is made in figure 4.6. This figure you can see that there is a manila paper, there is a gasian paper, there is also a wood with cable paper and filter paper. So a few of the major applications of unimpregnated paper are in telephone cables and capacitors. Major application involving impregnated paper shall be dealt with while dealing with impregnated insulations. So now, insulating textiles. Textiles are woven from fibrous materials like cotton, jute and hemp. Sometimes silk from animal Origin is also used for special purpose. The class of material are mechanically strong in tensile and tear strength. The strength do not get affected markedly even after getting wet. In recent past, use of synthetic materials has been on the increase. So, due to this synthetic, you can say this synthetic manufacturing and its availability is very large in the last few decades. So that had also made or attracted the electrical field of engineering for using them as insulator has increased. And now, student, cotton. Cotton is made in the form of fiber or cotton and tapes for the purpose of promoting insulation. It is available in it is available is any color as per requirement. So as per requirement we can choose any color. So it is combustible, and cars when heated without the presence of sufficient air or oxygen. It is porous material and absorbs water quickly. It gets moist by moisture or humid air when it is damp. It is not a good insulator. It is used where flexibility is prime requirement and high temperature and humid atmosphere is not envisaged. Cotton covered wire is widely used in winding of small and medium sized machine, chokes and small transformer coil, etc. Cotton is hygroscopic and has low tensile strength, electric strength. The cotton in use of insulators are impregnated with varnish or wax. The operating temperature of cotton is 100 degrees centigrade, and at higher temperature it gets carbonized. So students, you will find the use of cotton insulating material or cotton tapes in your winding, or you can say in your generator winding, motor winding, or your transformer winding. These windings will be insulated with the help of a cotton. This cotton tape, after this has been insulated, we will just pour the varnish. So after pouring the varnish, what will happen, it will be acting as a coating to this paper, which will get absorbed by the cotton, and it will be hardened up. And after hardening, what will happen, it will work as a insulator, and it can withstand a temperature well about 100 degree centigrades. Now students, there is silk also. Silk, it is a protein fiber consisting of long chain structure similar to that of cellulose. The silk yarn cloths are thin and strong, so it is better factor than copper, but it is quite expensive. Its electrical characteristics are better than cotton, but it is hygroscopic. So its qualities are good, but it is also hygroscopic. That means it has the property to absorb moisture or water. Now it is a poor conductor of heat as compared to cotton. So comparing to cotton, it has a poor conduction to heat. Now what else students? Natural silk is used in application where prime importance, that is instrument meters and other measuring instrument. Artificial silk is less affected by water and has coarse fibers and less elastic as compared to the natural silk. Now the other insulating material is jute. It is made from cellulose, which is the major solid constituent of vegetable plant. Its fibers are thicker and is similar to cotton, but is cheaper in cost. Now students, the last topic which we will discuss for today's class is impregnated fibrous material. And the impregnated fibrous material are the proper introduction of proper impregnating compounds into fibrous material discussed above has resulted in some very stable insulating materials. So it is by proper impregnation that limitation like hygroscopicity and thermal chemical degradation of unimpregnated fibrous material are overcome. So students, if oil is immersed in this type of cotton or your jute, then they can be impregnated, and by the use of this kind of insulating material, they can work for your insulating material very much effectively. Paper insulation is used. Huh, there is a point which I left. It is a impregnated paper dielectrics. Amongst all fibrous material used as insulators, this class contributes the maximum. So, which is the class? Impregnated paper dielectrics. The technique is impregnation is complicated. Oils used for this purpose are selected carefully depending upon our requirement. Paper insulation is usually provided on the conductor without impregnation. After the conductor with impregnated paper is placed in portion of any apparatus, the semi-finished apparatus is then put through the impregnation process, which involves the following process. So the process which are there will be discussed in your next classes. So students, go through the video. Thank you for watching.